As far as times go, I can give you your updated times as of this minute. For plaintiff has used 42 hours and 45 minutes. Defendant has used 53 hours and 1 minute.
Now, Chanley, tell me about this time limit and explain how that is playing out.
Yeah, this judge really runs a tight ship, but she's also nice and approachable and really does handle the attorneys and the objections quite well, all things considered. But she has this so mapped out, Vinny, that it's perfectly timed for a 6-week trial, the amount that she qualified the jurors for, and each side was allotted 61 hours and 15 minutes to present their total cases. So, like we heard, Depp has used 42 hours, 45 minutes, which means he has 18 hours and 30 minutes next week in which to present his rebuttal case, and Amber Heard has used 53 hours and 1 minute so far, so she only has 8 hours and 14 minutes in which she needs to wrap up her case in chief, Vinny, and maybe preserve some of that time for a rebuttal case to Johnny Depp's rebuttal coming up next week. So that gives us an idea, but what we do know is that all of these calculations will come to fruition before Friday, which the judge has planned closing arguments. So
yeah,
that's what next week looks like.
Well, and that's why I'll be there Thursday. I'll be there Thursday night. I'll be there Friday, and maybe, just maybe, I'll be there for the verdict. We'll see. You never know what the jury's going to do. All right, so what does the schedule look like for closing arguments? How's that going to go?
Yeah, we learned today during a jury instruction conference and hearing this morning, no cameras, but the public was allowed to observe this conference. Very informative. And what we learned is that the judges allotted 2 hours each for closing arguments next Friday, May 27th, starts at 9 a.m. Eastern. So each side will have a couple of hours to wrap up their case. And we also learned that for Johnny Depp, his attorneys Benjamin Chu and Camille Vasquez will be giving the closings, and then Elaine Bredhoff and Benjamin Rottenborn will be delivering the closings for Amber Heard, much like we did see during the opening statements almost 6 weeks ago now, Vinny. But also, for those 2 hours, they really have to time this out because only 2 hours to accomplish this. First, Depp's closing, then Heard's closing, and the rebuttal to Depp's, of course, and then Depp's rebuttal to Heard's closing, and then Heard has another chance to rebut, but only to the counterclaim argument finally. So they have to divide their time out to cover those order of closing arguments, Vinny.
That's interesting. And again, this is different. It's different than a criminal case, and you've got claims going both ways. We can't forget that Johnny Depp is being sued by Amber Heard as well. Okay, so this is the other part. Like, how is this going to play out now? Like the plan for deliberations and reaching a verdict and then announcing the verdict in court. What's the plan down there in Fairfax County?
Yeah, and so this has definitely been delineated to everyone in the courtroom so that it hopefully goes smoothly. But what we do know right now, we have 9 jurors, right? Only 7 will be the deliberating jury, but those alternates will be dismissed or designated after closing arguments, but on standby in case during the deliberations we lose a juror or 2, so under admonitions. Also, during a jury question, the parties, Heard and Depp, can waive their appearance for the reading of a question, answering of a question in the courtroom for the attorneys to go over. And we know that deliberations, well, they will begin on Friday, Vinny. The judge has indicated that she's not going to serve the jury dinner, so that may incentivize them to go home a little bit early and maybe come back the Tuesday after Memorial Day if they have not reached a decision, because like you said, there's a lot for them to go over. I think the verdict forms are 4 or 5 pages long with this countersuits going back and forth. So if and when we do reach a verdict, there will be a 1-hour time to return to the courthouse, so the parties don't have to wait here. Depp and Heard don't have to wait here at the courthouse because that requires extra security here at the courthouse, as you know. And so they can also waive their appearance, though, for this verdict. So there is some kind of an engagement that Depp has that week of Memorial Day that may prevent him from even being here for his own verdict.
All right, we'll talk more about that next week for sure. Chanley Painter breaking it all down. Get some rest. We've got a big week coming up.